ladybird on a nettle, the meaning of life, the beauty of nature, all things you can see if you just walk a really long way. Have you ever wondered how many steps you could do in a day? Of course you haven't, and even if you had, you've got better things to do with your time than find out. But guess who doesn't have anything better to do with their time? This guy. So one day, on a whim with no preparation and no idea what I was getting myself into, I decided to find out, dragging Charlie along with me. Right, so it's coming up to 5:30 in the morning. Just left the house. Already on over 700 steps. I did quite a lot of walking around the house this morning as I was brushing my teeth and getting ready. The plan, I think, is to walk into Cambridge from my parents' house, which is a good 8 miles, to get breakfast. So that's the plan. Now, the morning was my favourite part. It was peaceful, I got to watch the world wake up, and there was this cool 70s style ambient electronica playing everywhere. But seriously, the sky was doing some pretty cool things. Right, so Cambridge is that way, about 8 miles-ish, but we've decided we're going to go this way and do a 5-mile loop before we start our walk to Cambridge. I think 13 miles before breakfast should be enough. So the idea at this point was pretty straightforward. Get in as many steps as possible whilst we were feeling fresh before breakfast. Once again, I read nothing to suggest that this was a good tactic. I cannot emphasise how little preparation went into this. In fact, we didn't really plan this at all. We decided to do this last night whilst eating a curry, which I'm not entirely sure is even the best fuel to set you up for the day. After extensive research, I am yet to find anyone who encourages visiting a curry house the night before an activity like this. But we powered on, and using this ancient Fitbit to count our steps, we soon hit 10,000 steps. So I don't really know what today's about. I don't know why last night I decided I was going to see how many steps I could do in a day and drag Charlie along with me. Ever since coronavirus hit, I've not felt like I'm really in control of my life. I don't think anyone has, and I felt like there's been no spontaneity. So I kind of suspect that this is a way of dealing with that, a way of going out and having some sort of mini adventure that I'm in control of and that feels spontaneous. So I guess that's the case. In terms of steps, I literally have no idea how many steps it's possible to do in a day. If I'm being completely honest, I want to try and beat what me and Robbie did in 5 days, and that was 78,000 steps, I think. I'm gonna have to look that up before the end of the day. So I think that's what I want to do. I think I want to beat 78,000 steps. So yeah, let's see if we can do it. The Robbie I was referring to was, of course, Mr. Robbie Knox, with whom I'd done a step challenge a couple of weeks prior. That week I managed to do 78,097 steps in only 5 days. So now the challenge was to beat that in a day. I had to crack on. We'd soon made it to Cambridge, and with over 20,000 steps completed and 0 calories consumed, it was time for breakfast. A quick note here on nutrition. My breakfast consisted of coffee and scrambled egg on toast with smoked salmon. A solid 7 out of 10 meal for anyone hoping to do a challenge like this. I probably just needed a few starchy carbs to make it a bit better. This was probably the only time I got my food right all day. So we've just started randomly walking around Cambridge, just trying to get our steps up and make sure that we're keeping them high. And I'm discovering parts of Cambridge I've never seen before. My parents have been here for like 20 years and I've literally never seen some of this stuff, so it's really cool. I reckon I could have at least one. Easy. If you're ever in Cambridge, make sure you get a Ben's Cookies. Or in London. I think there's some in Oxford as well.
Nope. Yes. Yes, there are.
Either way, you owe it to yourself to get yourself a Ben's Cookie. Clearly bin day today. Robbie will be happy to see blue and green bin day, so in Cambridge that's recycling and garden waste. So yeah, very exciting day. Right, so we're closing in on 37,000 steps and starting to feel it in the balls of my feet. I know that Charlie has been having some problems with her shoes as well, so hoping to try and get some lunch in now. There is a pub that we like, which is a 24-minute walk up here, so gonna give them a call now, see if they've got a table. They are not answering. Yep, straight to voicemail, so we're gonna just have to walk there and hope it's open, but that's not good. Please be open, please be open, please be open. It's open! Come on!
Hey guys, hi.
Table for two, please.
Absolutely.
I actually anticipate this is going to feel amazing. Right, so we are on 40,000 steps there. Just over halfway. My feet are starting to hurt. Sitting down just then was a much bigger pleasure than I care to admit. So this is going to be quite hard to double the step count so far. I think maybe this is the most steps I've ever done in a day anyway, so yeah. Tricky. Now, do you remember what I said earlier about nutrition? For lunch we had burrata, sweet potato fries and calamari, which tasted great, but if we were going to do nearly 80,000 steps, we'd be burning 8,000 calories each. So not only were we not consuming enough calories, but I can assure you that cheese whipped with cream and a bit of squid are not the right kind of calories for a task like this. So we've just had lunch. We're now walking back home, which is about a 2-hour walk from where we are now, largely because we're going to swap shoes to some trainers, see if that helps with the feet, which are now feeling a bit sore, and I might even have a shower and just try and feel a bit more alive. Although stopping for lunch was nice, since I've got up and started walking again, everything's hurting a little bit more than it was before lunch. So my feet hurt more, I've started to notice that my shins are hurting a little bit, starting to feel it in my glutes a little bit. So stopping was nice, but it wasn't without its, what's the word I'm looking for?
Downsides.
Downsides, there we go. Just walking past a field of wheat. So I have got to do that thing where the camera sort of goes through the wheat and it looks all cinematic and cool, because I've got to. That looked good. If that doesn't make you want to subscribe, I don't know what will. Horses this way, humans this way. Don't make any jokes. So this is our 7th village of the day. So let's just quickly get all the standard village shots. Pub, village sign, random street sign, church, shops, pond, postbox, and village sign. Just your standard village B-roll. So we have done 50,000 steps, which is insane, and we've been walking for, oh, I should have figured this out before we went, 10 hours now? I think it's 10 hours. So that's about 5,000 steps an hour, which isn't a brilliant pace, but we have stopped for lunch, we've stopped for breakfast, we've stopped to record and fly drones and all sorts and do bits like this. So we've probably spent a good hour and a half of that not actually walking. So in 8.5 hours, 50,000 steps doesn't seem too bad. About 3,000 more steps now until we get to the house. Definitely gonna have a shower as soon as I get in. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to taking off these shoes. Have a bit of a rest, start to contemplate where our next walk is going to be. I asked Charlie to pick the camera up after that shot, and this was the sound that she made. Right, let's go. So we've just left the house after a break that went on a lot longer than we intended for it to, but it was actually quite hard work to motivate ourselves then to like get up and go out again. And the first moment that we came out of the house, everything seemed to hurt way more than it has done all day. My feet were hurting, my ankles were hurting, my shins were hurting, not the actual bones, but like the sort of weird muscle in front of them. And it has just started raining, so I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to film of the next hour or two's walking. I do have my GoPro with me, but I don't think that this camera that I'm using now can be out in the rain if it keeps up. Also, my hair's doing a funky thing, so that's fun. I was right, I didn't film much over the next 2 hours. I just put my raincoat on, put my head down, and got on with it, determined not to stop until we got to 70,000 steps. We're on a golf course. Oh no, I think it's frozen. Oh no. Hang on, what? Oh, I didn't get that screenshot. 69,420, yay! 40 steps. I cannot tell you how actually important this feels right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Dinner time. So why the dramatic boom sound? Why the fade up from black? Why did I think it was a good idea to wear denim shorts? I'm not John Cena. It may seem like everything is going well at this point. We've walked 70,000 steps, we're just about to eat. Most of you hadn't noticed that I was wearing denim shorts for the entire video, but the truth is, I was exhausted. My legs were aching, my feet were bleeding, we'd burnt over 7,000 calories at this point, and we've got our food wrong all day. Just as I was about to eat a bolognese with garlic bread that my sister had made, I completely crashed. My head was pounding, and every time I tried to eat, I felt nauseous. It looked like my day was done. Right, so it's 8:30-ish in the evening. I feel awful. I've really struggled since we got back and since we stopped. I can barely lift my legs. Strongly debated not doing it. I just got to get to the goal now. Really struggled. Really thought to myself, am I going to do this? I'm probably not going to take this camera out with me. I'm probably going to go out with my GoPro and a bottle of water. I don't think I can take a backpack with me. My back was killing me towards the end of the walk. So It's not going to be the best footage, but I'm going to get it done. Let's go. That's right, we went back out. I wasn't happy about it. It was dark, we were tired, but I stole some pick and mix from my parents and we were on our way. I'm trying to like get nice shots of the dark and us walking in the dark and us ploughing on to that final number, but the GoPro really is bad in the low lights, so sorry if this isn't quite as cinematic as I hoped it would be. But just past 71,000 steps, which is huge, so that's nice. 72,000, 73,000, nearly 55 kilometers walked. There's a cola bottle.
Yeah, that'll do.
I'm actually gonna go that, toffee. 74,000, 75,000, less than 3,000 to go. Charlie is really struggling, feet in pain. So, I mean, the response was about all you needed, so yeah, we're starting to head back now, and hopefully we'll finish before we get in. 76,000. This is massive. We have officially beaten what Robbie walked last week, which was 76,000 something. Oh, I don't know, but I know that number was what we needed to get there. So that is massive. That's huge. 77,000. We are on 77,300 odd. 800 from completing more than I did last week, but we're back at the house. So Charlie is going in. She's been struggling. Bye, Charlie.
Goodbye.
So Charlie's feet were hurting. She has blisters all over her feet. She was really struggling through that last bit. We very nearly didn't make it to the house. It was very almost a case of us calling someone to come pick her up. So yeah, but the main thing is she's beaten Robbie, and she's got smaller legs than me, so she's almost certainly done about 5,000 more steps than me anyway. So she's done the 80,000 really, but I have to keep walking. I have to get to 78,100. I need to beat what I did last week in 5 days. We are really closing in. We are really closing in. 78,100 steps left to go. I honestly cannot believe I've done this. Everything in my body is telling me to stop right now. Oh God. It's happening. 10. Oh, come on. Oh. 78,100. Honestly, there's a lot I have to say, but I'm going to say it tomorrow. I'm knackered. So there you have it. Charlie and I walked over 78,000 steps in a day. Why? I don't really know why. I think boredom. The next day we did nothing except stay in bed and watch TV and eat chocolate to make up for the 8,000 calories burnt the previous day. And although the day was tough, I look back at it fondly. It was a mini adventure at a time where we can't really go on mini adventures, and I learned a lot about myself and what it's possible for me to do. And I think I also learnt that it's important to have a goal. I set the goal of 78,000 steps, and if I didn't have that, I don't think there's any way I'd have carried on after 50,000 steps. So maybe that's what I learnt in this video. Maybe that it's important to have a goal, to push yourself a bit further than what you think is possible. I don't know. What did you learn from this video? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike it, then dislike it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And apparently last week, I did 100,000 steps in 5 days. And if you think I'm going to do that in a day, piss off. The boy John, the boy John, the boy John. Can't go that way. There's a fence.